First, let's welcome Shweta. Shweta is
Hello.
Shweta is I don't know where to start from, but let me give a professional profile first. Shweta is marketing director at First Source, and she's a avid runner, and she's a Boston qualifier. You should go and read how Boston qualification happens. Very few people are able to do that. She's done all sorts of ultra marathons. Last year, she was part of 3 world majors, back on back in 3 months, 2 months.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. So I have known Shweta since almost a year, and recently I got privileged to start running with her. It's pretty tough, but I think a lot of my changes which have come in running is because of her, because I'm able to run with her. And today I wanted, and me and Manas, we were discussing that she's the right person who can come tell us about her experiences, how she's achieved what she's achieved, and what are the difficulties or what are the breaks that she got during the journey and how she overcame them. So I won't take much of the time. Over to you, Shweta.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. And Monday morning, showing up here to hear me out. I feel privileged. So a big thank you to all of you, and of course to Abhishek and Manas to invite me here. I don't know what to share, but this is what I thought of doing today, is that I'm going to spend a little bit time talking about myself, about why, and I see a lot of transforming here, which is probably my personal life transformation story. Professional, of course, goes parallel. And then I want to make this session about all of you. Why would anybody spend 40 minutes listening to me? I can run, okay, that's my choice. You don't want to, that's your choice. But I'm going to try and spend the next 40 minutes in this session talking about how, just to show you another perspective that you may or may not know. I'm bringing that perspective based on maybe a decade of experience. I picked this up from some people I look up to who have done their research, and this is all scientifically proven. So I'm not preaching anything saying, hey, you know what, I am the end of the world, this is how you gotta live. Nobody's telling you that. But what I want you to first thing before I introduce myself is to think about this as a session for you, and it's not about me. I am nobody to tell you anything of how to live. I'm only going to show you a picture. What you take out of the picture is going to be your way. So the first thing is that I want all of you here to sit with an open mindset, or in corporate we call the growth mindset. Are you all with me?
Yes.
Louder?
Yes.
Monday morning, breakfast khaya?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so as Abhishek said, I am Mahasweta Ghosh, and the biggest joke goes in my friend circle is that maa baap ne Mahasweta kyun laka, Shweta kafi nahi tha. I say, I think my parents had no faith in me, and they said, yaar, kuch kare nahi kare, naam hi laga do Maha. So, jokes apart, I think it signifies austerity, purity, whatever colloquial language. I love my name, abbreviated, moving on to Delhi and parts of South India, it became Shweta. In the running fraternity, I got as MS. I don't know why, but pick your whichever one you like. So I'm okay with all of them. A rose is a rose, right? So I started running 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago. But I got into fitness almost 20 years ago. If you would believe, and Abhishek has a picture of mine, feel free to share it with anybody. I promise you, you will not recognize that person. That was me. In my college days in engineering, 78 kgs, couldn't fit into a 36 size jeans, zero in confidence, forget standing here and talking. I probably wouldn't stand up and talk in my own class. That was me. And just one fine day, 36 didn't fit, and I called my dad haplessly saying, Dad, I need to do something. My dad said, why the hell are you crying? Do something about it. I said, agree, fair enough. So that's when I started my first weight loss journey. I lost weight, whatever help my parents gave. I should say they've been extremely supportive in whatever I do. I then stayed at it. Like that day and this day, one shot I lost 16 kgs. I'm sure Abhishek relates to it as well. Is that once you're there, you never want to go back there again. And that's the lesson we learned. Okay? Heaven or hell, never again go to that side of the world. It is done and over for this lifetime. Thanks to some crazy friends, they said, "Arey, you should start running." And then I started running in 2012. So in 2012, someone said, "Arey, you should try running, you're so fit, this, that." I said, running is such a boring thing, why would you do it? Gym is so much more interesting, you can play around, you make friends. What the hell is running? I said, chalo, okay, theek hai. And then as luck would have it, she was my manager at work, so I didn't have a choice to. No appraisals were at stake. So then I said, okay, sign up. So what did I sign up for? I signed up for a 21K straight up. If you guys have any sense of marathon running, 42.2 is the full distance, 21.1 is the half distance. I said, do half distance, I don't know what genes I had. I'm a Bengali by birth. So I guess they said, theek hai, jo bhi karoge, we live like king size. 21K, no training. Trained for precisely 2.5 months and I got a podium finish. I was like, this isn't bad. Like my CMO came to give me award and all of that stuff. So that's where I started. That day and this day, I haven't looked back. I have never had a day when I have not been physically active. Even if I've had injuries, I have still tried to find out some way to stay active. I'm a believer that what I do physically is not because what it gains me physical. You can say, oh, you look pretty, so it's easy to say, or you whatever, you're not size 34 anymore. But I think what I do it for is what it brings to me in my life, in my profession, in my personal, and the way I am or who I am today. I'm standing here because of what I invest in my personal time aside of my professional life. I also have a full-time job. I head the marketing function for BFS for First Source worldwide. Quite a taxing job. I work 10 to 12 hours, and when I'm not running, I'm only working. But I think I've worked with companies like the Dell and the Wipros and the Microsofts. I've always been in the other side of this room, being your client, but it's absolutely a privilege to be here. This is the first time that I'm speaking to an audience of this sort, Professional conversations are very different. They're very saying, okay, as a woman, how do you manage work-life balance, blah, blah, blah. I mean, nobody needs to manage everything, it's just your choice. I believe that everything you do is just a choice. Work-life balance, it's your time, you know what you want to do with it. So that's about me. I am going to not bore you guys with knowing more about me. I think that's what you should take away with my name, what I do, and what I believe in is most important. I would like you to believe in what I believe. I'm going to take you through a little bit of I would like to call it a workshop, and I've requested everybody have a paper and a pen with you. We will go through a little bit of a workshop. I call it the Optimist Guide. How many of you are optimists in this room? Only one? Shocking. I'm going to walk out of this place. What about the others? So guys, here's something I want to tell you. Let's see, whoever we are, there is no right or wrong, right? We are what we are, and then that comes from the context that we have, right? Like our parents told us, "Ke beta padhai karo, अच्छे नंबर आएंगे तभी अच्छी नौकरी मिलेगी, तभी अच्छा लड़का मिलेगा, तभी अच्छी दहेज मिलेगी," right? Like that's what our parents have taught us. And that is not wrong. They are coming from the context that they have come up from, and that's fast changing. So I want you to see this as a new context for yourself. You can choose to take bits and parts of it. You can absolutely say, this is, I don't know what she's doing, she's lost it in life. Or you could just pick it whole. It is just to get that context. So please keep that in mind, and I am trying to give you another context of which you may or may not be aware of. I have these slides. I only have 7 of them, and then a thank you if you like it. I picked this up from an athlete. She's called Dina Castor, and I'm a big fan of her, not because of just her sport, but what she learned as a runner and how she managed to impart it to people like us who look up to her. So how many of you know or agree or disagree on the word called goal and purpose. How many of you think it is the same, it is different? Anybody, what is a goal? Guys, I'm standing, I don't want you guys to feel so cozy. Let's have some, yeah? What is a goal? I saw somewhere written there, smart. Anybody?
Anything that you set for yourself. Target that you set for yourself.
Okay,
Probably something that is measurable.
okay,
Something you work towards.
okay.
I think purpose is a wider term, whereas to achieve that purpose, we need goal.
Ultimate for yourself.
Sorry, I missed that.
The ultimate for yourself.
The ultimatum for yourself. हाँ नहीं करोगे तो गोली मार देंगे. Good. Like it. Okay, so this is how we see it. All of you are correct in certain way. Goal, absolutely everybody knows smart goals. The biggest factor of the goal is something that you want to achieve. And the purpose is actually saying, why do you want to achieve it? How many of you are waiting to get promoted here? That's a goal. Abhishek, you know what to watch out for. Okay, she has both her hands. She's like, I'm desperate, you know. So that's a goal, right? Now, you said you want to get promoted. Why?
Because I want to grow professionally and I know that I have the caliber and I give this company what it deserves and it should do the same for me.
So that's what that is what is company's goal. Why is it that you want to get promoted? Why is that important to? Why is getting promoted important to you?
Just grow professionally and personally.
But you can grow professionally without getting promoted as well, isn't it?
But it does come with certain additional advantages and responsibilities that I would like to have.
So is that the purpose of why you want to get promoted? That's the meaning, right? That's the meaning. So the difference between the goal and the purpose is that the goal is tangibility, like you all said, smart goal, right? Measurable. I want to get promoted. Time is a big factor, right? I want to get promoted this year. 5 साल बाद आएगा तो कोई फायदा नहीं है. I want to get promoted now. But like she said that the reason why she wants to get is she wants to grow professionally, or she wants to contribute, or she knows that she has the ability which can change, the way she serves her customers and so on and so forth. That's the purpose. A lot of times we change it interchangeably. We can't differentiate because English language has become very flamboyant. कुछ भी बोल देते हैं. So that is the goal versus the purpose. And I think what is important is that when we set a goal, we never go back and say, "Yaar, why do you want to do it?" Like if you ask me today saying, why do you run? Like, okay, running like the Boston qualifier, world major, why do you want to do it? I have a very simple reason why I want to do it. And it is that in the world elite marathoners and runners, I want to be known as one of them. There are hardly any Indians there. I'm going to do a race. There are probably only 3 or 4 people from this country who has run that race. Every year there is it's been there for like 37 versions, and there are not even 10 people who have done that race. So I want to see myself to that state. No patriotic feeling, but I want to be counted as those. They do crazy, insane stuff. So I want to be known as one of them. That's my purpose of why I am doing all of this stuff. So I think what is important is that while you have the goal, go back and think, saying, why is it important to you? Why do you need to have this car? Why do you need whatever? There is no right or wrong of what that goal is. But so now, bring your paper. Let's have a goal done for each of you. It can be anything. I'm going to ask 1 or 2 of you to read out your goals. Here is your time to bring a point to your management if you want to. Or I'll let you decide. It can be personal, professional, passion, anything you want, but a goal. Now, what I want you to check in that goal is this. Like forget, I'm not telling smart goal. I'm saying it has to be a meaning. It has to be obviously specific. Like, I want to get promoted in X and X in time. It also is something that can make you go outside your comfort zone. Like if I say that I want to get to if my best marathon timing is 3:48, and if I say, okay, I will go to 3:47 next year, I'm not stretching myself, right? I mean, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, anybody can go out. It's basically like, even if I reduce 5 seconds, I'm at the 3:77. But if I say I have to go less than 3:30, that's where it is stretching me beyond my capacity. So it should stretch you, and then it should obviously have a due date, right? So let's have 1 minute to all of you, let's say 2 minutes maybe, to do a quick goal for all of you. Everybody, on your paper and pen. Nobody is judging anybody here. This is the first lesson that it's about you. It's your goal. Why would you not feel comfortable to share? You should be proud of it, isn't it? So out with it. Yes, please.
I want to learn writing in 6 months. Like writing as in filmmaking.
Okay, so you're like a script writing,
Yeah.
if you're saying, right? Okay, so what is the purpose behind doing it?
Like I'm very passionate about storytelling, and there is a structure for storytelling that I need to learn. Because
Okay.
I have got stories, but there is this structure which has to be followed if you want to tell stories.
But why do you want to tell stories?
Why do I want that story?
Why do you want to tell stories? करण जौहर है तो बताने के लिए. तुमने यहाँ क्या बताओगे?
I mean, I have got my stories, वैसी stories जो कि मेरे को देखने को नहीं मिलती. So I want to tell those stories.
Then you tell yourself. Why do you want to tell the others? I don't want to listen to your story.
I mean, there is this creative satisfaction that comes with telling that story to everyone.
So is it right to say then that the purpose why you want to do it is you want to gain creative satisfaction, and therefore you want to learn?
Yeah.
So the purpose here is just that simple factor that you want to get creative satisfaction, and that is the only reason why you're doing everything else that you need to do. The bigger, broader reason why you are doing anything you're doing is the purpose. Because if you don't have a meaning, that is why most of us don't succeed in our goals. Because goals are like those 5 things somebody has taught us, saying SMART goal. Put it up in your board and then it is forgotten. Nobody knows where it is, what happened. Because a lot of times we don't even know why we have that goal. Like, I did engineering for God's sake. I don't know why. Like, I hated physics all my life, and I'm an engineer. I have a certificate with the first class. But that was probably not my goal. My dad didn't know, or I didn't know then the difference between what do I want to do, what is the meaning of doing this degree. So a lot of times before you set out your goal, what is important to find out is that take a step back and see, why is this important to you, or why do you want to do it? Okay?
So basically, like 3 years back, I started making videos. I was not into creative side or design field, but when I made those videos, when I put my content live on, publish anything, I felt something, like a freedom, like I can do something, I can do anything which people are not telling me, and I want to gain that feeling again. So that's my purpose.
So he's saying that the reason, and that's a really, really mind-boggling purpose and goal, please sit down, is that he wants to feel free. And his version of how he feels free is by creating creative content. That's a very, like, hats off to you, to have that realization that a lot of people say running is liberating. Half of them don't even know what liberation means. Like, there's like big fat statement everybody's making. But what makes you feel free? I mean, wow. I mean, that's really, really one of the finest ways I hear of how you would set your goal to have that purpose in your life. And that purpose is very personal and unique to you. It cannot be, even if 10 people in this room say, I want to get promoted, the reason why A is wanting to do from B to C, somebody might say, oh, I want to, earn more money so I can sustain my family, or I want whatever, I want to buy whatever Mercedes X-Class, whatever class it is, and so on and so forth, right? Can we go to the next slide? So now that we had the goal, how everybody says, make your goal. Now what? So let us break this goal into 4 tangible activities that you will do to make that goal happen. Like, I remember you because you're the easiest to remember, right? Because you said, okay, appraisal, I want to get promoted. Write down 4 things, and there's a reason why 4. 1 or 2 is always easy, When you do 4 and more, psychology says that it is pushing your limit to proactively attaining your goal. So break it down into those 4 activities that you would do to ensure that you reach your goal. Okay, who is going to share their goal and their activities? Go ahead. Sorry, I can't hear you. Okay. No, go back again. What is your goal?
Creating a pop project of sorts wherein writers, directors, storytellers, organizers, everybody and people who actually listen to the audience under one platform, maybe even on Instagram or Discord or any other social media platforms, and then
Time. Where is the time in your goal?
time. It is a gradual process. It's like a human-
No goal cannot be without timeline. You can do it when you turn 60.
Basically in my 20s or
Sorry?
20s, 30s, because I target audience.
No. So you said you want to do a pop project. By when do you want to do it? In the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? 2 years. So then your goal should be that I want to do a pop project in the next 2 years. That is when it is, time is most critical in everything we do. As superfluously we live, if you do not define by when you want to do it, then you will never do it. Like he said, procrastination. I mean, that is the by default of every human being. I mean, left to me, I'll probably do the same. So if you do not have a time visibility, that it is a commitment that you want to do. One of your goals said commitment right there, your values. I mean, it is a commitment that you have for yourself. And if you can't commit to yourself that in the 2 years that I will do whatever A by C, I wouldn't hire that person in my team, or what commitment would you have to my company or to my employees or to anybody else. So therefore, the reason why we say time bound is so you commit to knowing that, okay, your time starts now. You know, in the true sense of it, that your time is ticking. In the next 2 years, I got to do this pop project going. You know, today is 6th of March 2025, this should be up and running. That should be your goal. If I am you, I would go on my workstation or at home, like in big bold banners, saying pop project this date. I mean, that's how you make it real. Otherwise, it's going to get stuck in saying too much work pressure, too many reviews happening, custom clients going ballistic, I'm not feeling well, my mom is not keeping well. There is no end of excuses, right? So that's what the goal, that is how solid it used to be. It doesn't need to be a paragraph. It is only a few words that should hit you hard on your face every single time you see it. That is what a powerful goal is about. You can write a whole paragraph about it, who cares? You won't read it the second time, I promise. Okay? What is your activities?
My activities would involve sessions basically. My idea was having a Discord program running, wherein the audience and the musicians or the directors and writers we can pitch in ideas and have something of a suggestion, or maybe a music project that the direction comes in, which is not just from a perspective of a songwriter, but from a perspective of artists. And musicians will be freelancers like independent media artists, other than the Bollywood mainstream.
So according to me, that's just one activity. You said I'm going to create a Discord channel and socialize it and bring it together. That's one activity. You need 4 activities. You've only done 1. So what are the other 3? Theme. That's what you need to put in that. Anybody else who wants to clearly show out their goals? I'm very impressed with so I'm going to actually ask you to share your activities.
So my 4th activities will involve, first of all, it will be just into researching around the topic that I want to show in my video. And next it would be about structuring the research. It's about scripting. After that is then I'll do some shooting part where I'll be like shooting essence or something which can be used in my content. And finally it's about presenting that is an editor of my video.
Yes, just a second. So what you said again is very fluid. I would write to, so I'll give you an example. I set out a goal this year saying, I will use my mobile phone 50% of the time I use, which is like, I only use it for 10 to 12 hours. The remaining 10 to 12 hours, I don't look at my phone. So that was my goal. My goal was to reduce my phone usage time to 50% or 12 hours in the day. So what did I do? The first thing is that I go off my phone, like you all did, upside down at about 8:39ish in the evening. And till I finish my run and my morning sagas and I come back home by 9:30, 10, I don't use my phone. So my first activity is to go off the phone at 9 p.m. every single day. The second activity is not look at the phone in the morning when I wake up because I work US, my geographies I manage US. There's a lot of action that happens at night. I used to get up first thing, check phone, email, and then the day is fully gone. So not check my phone in the morning. The third is I stopped charging my phone next to my bed because then before you go also you're browsing on Instagram and trying to see. So now my phone stays in my study room, it gets charged there. The fourth is I used to use the phone to use as an alarm, and then I would put an alarm at 4:30, snooze and wake up at like whatever. So now I use the local alarm which doesn't have a snooze option. So those were my 4 activities of not using my phone. So if you see whatever I am telling you to do is very, very tangible. If you said I will research, I would change it to say I will research 5 topics. The first state is that how many do I want to write? Say if you say you want to write 5 creatives, then I will research 5 topics in the year. I will write at least X number in X week, right? So you have to break it down to making it that tangible. Otherwise it becomes very, very like I will do this, I will do that, I will do that, and eventually I will do nothing, right? So that's what you would want to put. Everybody got it?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, you want to share something.
So I have broken my goals into 3 different categories. So I want to do mentally, physically, and emotionally, and financially also. So basically, I have kept 4 goals
Stop.
for that.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
I wanted to lose 5 kgs at the end of 6 months. That is my physical goal want to achieve.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to read 15 books at least at the end of this year. And I want to increase my savings. I am not very much, I will not be telling you how much amount is it. But yeah.
I'm not reading bank accounts here for sure. I'm not sharing mine either.
Like 30%. And for that I have listed down 4 activities. For eating healthy, like this will be something which is related to physical health and wanted to do 20-minute exercise on a daily basis. Yeah. So financially, I wanted to focus more on generating passive income. So generating more sources of income through share market, stock market, and all of that. And reading 10 page every day on keeping in mind that I have to achieve 10 to 15 books goal at the end of each year. So reading at least 10 pages would work, I guess.
Good. Good. Thank you for sharing. Anybody has any questions? Anybody who disagrees? Conflict? No? Everybody, so she's standing there. CEO has called, so whatever she's saying is right. Well, I feel privileged. Okay. So the first thing that I practice this myself, and therefore I'm sharing this with you, okay? So the other thing is, could you write the goal as a positive statement? Like, so just to give you an example, like I said, my phone example, is that, so my goal says that I don't use my phone from 9 p.m. in the morning, at night to 10 a.m. in the morning. It's a positive affirmation statement in present tense to tell you that you've done it. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about these things, saying affirmations, manifestations, and all of that, right? Everybody is talking about it. Trust you me, none of them are very spiritually driven. A lot of it is very scientifically, psychologically driven. There are tons of books. I'm happy to share more details, pass it on to all of you to know that. So it says that when you say positive, you stay positive, right? You do positive. It's an assurance in yourself for building your own confidence that you've already done it and achieved it. So you would like to write down that goal as a positive statement that I have done or I have lost 5 kgs in the next 6 months, or my weight today is like whatever, so now she can say I am promoted to whatever. So can you all write it down into a positive statement as soon as possible? I am on you, can't help it. You said appraisal. Done. Who wants to share? I want to share the earlier goal that you've written and the new statement that you wrote. Somebody, backbenchers. Thupne se I can see, I have the advantage. Dur tak dikhta hai. Yes, sir. I can't help it. You write in my, you're the most visible. Do you realize that?
I think rephrase my goal. I want to be an international best-selling author equivalent to run Sanson, John's County, Africa in the next 2 years. The purpose behind it, I think that's something awesome to get to the goal, and I got a purpose behind it. Not yet. However, when I do it, I would write more and edit myself for at least 8 hours a week. I will get an international publisher. I will promote better, which has some monetary things which I'm going to say. I will interact with fans more and go to the across more.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Next comes a very, very important part is, we call it the belief list. I would call it, and the belief list could be your team, your people, anybody who believe in, who will make you successful in achieving your goal. Like in your case, your belief system that they value you and they will ensure that you get promoted, but so we need to create a belief list, and the belief list can also be about you. You believe that you have the ability. Like he says that he believes that he has creative element in him. Like, I don't think I'm a creative person. So a belief list of saying why you think you can do it. It could be your strength. It goes back to saying that how you do your goal, and why we have the belief list is because you have the goal, which is you play on your strengths to get to that goal, not on the other way around. Like me doing engineering without being any strength in physics is like silly. It's not really having a very sought after goal. So can we quickly take 2 minutes and write down a belief list? It has to be more than 2. It could be anything. It could be that, like my belief list says that I believe in my running coach, I believe in my nutritionist, I believe in my commitment to do this. So any of that stuff. It could be that you believe in your parents to support you to do this, your friend to help you do this. Okay, anybody wanting to share? Go ahead.
So, I believe in my thoughts. I think whatever I'm thinking, which is very good for me, is already in process and it's already happening.
Very good.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you all hear that? She said she believes in her thoughts, and she believes that whatever she wants to achieve is already work in progress, which is a very, very good positive approach to how anybody should see any of their goals to be done. The next very important thing which I'm a big fan of is let's stop being negative. That's why I started, that's why it's called the optimistic guide. That nahi yaar, nahi ho sakta, can't, don't, won't, shouldn't, couldn't, we are done with those words. So if you can't stop, यार मैं नहीं कर सकता, आज मैं बहुत थक गया, आज अभिषेक ने बहुत पिटाई लगाया ऑफिस में, अभिषेक की पिटाई लगाया तो तुम क्यों पिट गए? Protect yourself. So I think the one big change that we all need to do for everything, and this is not restricted to this room, is to stop being negative and feeling positive about it. How do you do it? It's very, very tough, because we naturally tend to feel negative. Because when we feel negative, we get empathy, we feel sorry. Mummy will say, hi, mera bachcha kitna kaam kar raha hai. Husband will say, oh, why are you pushing yourself too much? I'm earning the money. Everybody will say, what are you doing this for? It's not worth it. Like people tell me, tum chole bhature nahi khate ho. Why do you live? Go die. So it is about your negative feelings. It comes from every angle, but you got to have a positivity calendar, as I say. So it comes in the following slides also, but I relate the two together, is that in my room, like my goal personal goal also is this year that I will keep my cool. Now the first thing is I can rephrase it, say I won't lose my temper. But I don't want to use word negative won't because it's a negative word. So I want to say I will keep my cool, or I will be pleasant with myself and with everybody else around me every single day. So what I have on my study is a calendar which I have printed for the whole year. It is from Jan 1st to December 31st. And if you see that calendar, it has a lot of cross and ticks. Very simple. Any day when I have not felt very positive, or I have like lost it on my health or my partner or whatever I've done, I've gone and put a red cross on that day. And the other days when I've felt nice and happy and positive and good, I put a green. Now what was interesting is that the moment I started doing this when COVID happened. We were all at home, there was so much happening, bad news all the time coming in. Everybody was so frustrated, and then there is work, you're working remotely, life was just going nowhere. And then I realized that I became so irritable. I was absolutely feeling sad and sorry about how I was coming up to everybody. When I would go to run, I'd probably just yell at somebody who was driving badly or something. So I started doing that, and you'd be surprised that when you look at, it's like a report card when you see with so many reds on your report card and you're like, oh my gosh. You know, so now, even if I want to lose, even if I'm like, how dare you do it? I'm like, breathe, cool it down, because I will have to go and do my own scorecard and put that red cross. Trust you me, do it. You will see how pathetic you feel when you put that red cross. And if you see a month where you see a lot of greens or mostly greens, you will feel extremely, extremely elated about it. So to become from that negative emotion to your positive emotion, I will strongly recommend all of you to follow that. It could be about anything. You said procrastination. Keep that calendar for yourself for the next 6 months. You will see how you transform. I will give my word for it. That it just works when you have it right on your face, putting tangible, because in today's world, there's so much distraction, there's so much commotion, it is very difficult to stay focused. The only way you can focus is you work actively towards it. And these are some hacks that they just work. There is no way why it wouldn't work. Only thing is you got to be honest to yourself. You should remember it is about you, it is your commitment. You cheat and you put all green, you're making a fool of yourself, nobody cares. You know, you will be known as this person. The other thing that a lot of people say, like most common thing I hear is कि यार इतना करके फायदा क्या है, तुम तो कुछ खाती ही नहीं हो. Like that's the most common thing I hear at least once every week I hear saying, oh, what is the point? Now for them, it's a sacrifice I'm doing because I'm eating healthy, or I'm getting up in the morning and doing my exercise. They don't realize that it's my choice. You know, it is about what I chose to do, who I chose to be, what I want to achieve and all. It's all about me. I mean, how do you care? How does it matter? It doesn't change, right? So if you see yourself if you think that you're making sacrifices, start thinking of saying that it's not a sacrifice. If it's a sacrifice, then there's no point in doing it. How much will you sacrifice and how long will you sacrifice? So it's a choice. Like she said that she wants to lose 5 kgs. It's not going to be easy. She has to make a lot of choices to be ensuring that she goes to do 20 minutes of that workout every day. It's not going to be easy. Days she's going to be tired. She may not have time. If I am her, I will walk here. This is a long passage to walk here and get the 20 minutes. I mean, it's about a choice that you're making. Somebody might laugh and say, yaar, kya hai, dimag kharab ho gaya tera? So be it. You know, it's your choice. So differentiate between the thought, and you're doing the same thing. All I'm trying to say is that watch your thought. See how you are seeing what you are doing, because everybody will tell you something different. It is up to you to how you interpret this as either a choice or a sacrifice, because everybody else will tell you it is a sacrifice. I also suggest that you seek help. If you think that you're feeling like this and you know somebody said something to like that, share it with somebody. It is very, very important to go out and acknowledge that emotion, saying, yeah, I'm really feeling bad, that, you know, I like, yeah, usne aise bol diya. It's natural, right? Sometimes you're not in the best of the mood to process everything on a lighter note. You feel sorry about it, go talk to someone. Acknowledge that emotion, address it. What happens is we keep it inside, and then 10 times such thing happens, third time you're like, leave it out. I will also go and eat chole bhature tonight. You know, so because you didn't process the first time it happened. So go back and address and listen to yourself and process that for the first time. I'm sure it happens at work as well. Like, pent up anger is the most common thing in the corporate world in every company. Because we refuse to go and address it. We think, if I go and address it, I talk to someone, HR will say something, my boss will get angry, this and that. But you're not helping anybody, not yourself, not the company. So don't start venting up. It is not going to help achieve in your personal goal or in your professional goals. I just given an example which I thought is nice. We all say I hate my boss versus saying that I'm learning from my boss is making me tough, which is true. I've had some horrendous bosses, like, God bless them, but trust you me, each of them have taught me something so much more powerful than just doing marketing. Somebody has taught me to be resilient, somebody has taught me to be pushing your point of view when you're not being heard of, and I just give all my credit to those bosses as well. But then I didn't see them as negative, I didn't see them as my enemy. It's hard, I know, you feel angry, but then you have to work on each of these things every single day of your life. How many of you think Olympic happens, what frequency, does anybody know? Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes? Think again. Olympic happens every 4 years? Are you sure? What about Olympics? What if I say it happens every day once this Olympic finishes to the next one? All the athletes who are aiming to get to the Olympics for the next season have started training today, here and now. And they are going to do it every single day till they race. No Olympic happens in 4 years. It happens every single day of their lives. People who are organizing, all the athletes who are training, their coaches and everything else. So stop thinking that one fine day miracle will happen and then, straight out of the movie is not going to happen. So that is why expand the good. Make it a practice to do it every day. Every day get up, visit your goal, see where are you, tick mark that calendar, watch out for yourself. Because that is the only way you will get to it, because nothing happens one day. I didn't become a Boston qualifier or sitting here because I did it something 20 years ago. I do it every single day of my life, come what may, heaven or hell. Because that is the only way to success. Today some uncle said, beta aap bahut committed ho. I had to turn back and say that, uncle, without commitment to aap kahin pahunchoge hi nahi na. And a commitment is not, it is a way of life. It is not like a seasonal कि अच्छा इस season ना commitment चलेगा, next season कुछ और चलेगा. It is something that you decide and you practice every single day. So just go back and think again of what I said. That does Olympic happen every day or does it happen every 4 years? It cannot happen every 4 years, because those athletes, if they don't train for 4 months and come back again, they would have gone back like 10 years ago. So it is not possible. For them, they are living it every day. They're making it happen every single day. That is why they are at the Olympics. That is why they are winning. That is why they are doing whatever they are doing. So if you want to do this, you have to do it today, tomorrow, day after, and every single day till you have achieved what you want to achieve, and then set out to the next one. With me? Yes. I see a lot of people nodding their list. Okay, gratitude list. Does anybody keep a gratitude list? Nice. How many gratitudes do you write in there?
I make 10 for every day.
Wow.
Every time.
Awesome.
I use this app called Meet.
Yeah, I used to earlier use this app called Gratitude. Now I've gone back to paper pen. I'm very old school. So, sometimes when I do my gratitude, I've been doing it for many years. I used to earlier do the app, now I write. I've gone back to old school way of writing. So I journal every day and I write my gratitude list every day. And then it says that you write at least 4. Because psychologically, anything more than 3 is said to be challenging you. And it is human beings' tendency to naturally feel that my life, उसकी life देखो कितनी अच्छी है. Like मम्मी अभी बोलती थी, अरे फलाने की मासी की देखिए कितनी अच्छी है. Look at ours. I mean, So it is natural to not find gratitude. A, because we don't seek it, and second thing is we don't value what we have. Go out to someone who's still looking for a job and doesn't have it. You know, they probably don't know what to do with it, or someone who's probably who wants to buy something for their kid but they can't. But we have so much around, but we do not value it. So the other thing I really, really strongly recommend you all to take away from here is start getting your gratitude list. If you're digital, there are tons of apps available there, but the only thing is you look at only for 4. Not, and 10 is great. Like, I don't think I can write 10 every day. I mean, something that I will, yeah. So something I would like to take away from is to attempt to getting to a 10 maybe a new goal for me to have saying 10 gratitude, because I struggle at times to write even 4, like, you know, and the trick is also that you don't say every day I am thankful for my mother, my father. They have to be newer ones. That is why you say that, do to likh doge, yaar, I'm feeling very happy for my mother, she got me this whatever solitaire. But you know, you go beyond that too, you know. And poor husbands, if you all are married, God bless them. But you know, but look in there. But thank you. That's something I will take away from this session. And appreciating people. How many of you appreciate your maid? The first correction, if I was you, is that I don't call them maid. I call them my help. I live and I do what I do because she is running my house. I don't have a full timer, but this lady comes. She takes care of everything. I'll tell you a very simple story. I was so touched, I just can't forget it. I generally eat beetroot smoothie in the evening, and then I changed it and I said, put it in my salad for lunch. So one day I was not home for salad. I came back home. She leaves around 5:30. I came back home and I saw this beetroot smoothie on the table. I didn't understand. I said, I've not been having this smoothie. Why is it here? Anyways, I drank it, and next day morning came back. I asked her, I said, why did you make the smoothie? So she said, दीदी आपने lunch नहीं किया था ना, तो आपका beetroot miss हो गया था. तो मैंने सोचा smoothie बना देती हूँ, शाम को पी लोगे. I was touched. She's illiterate. She can't read or write. But that thought, that emotion, and how much she cares for me, I was overwhelmed. I sent a note to my nutritionist saying, you know, that's my help. Go back today and say thank you to your help. Say thank you to your driver. Say thank you to the guard Nije who takes care of you guys. It is so important to appreciate people in your life. You know, your colleagues. I'm sure that conflict is a part of growth. If you don't create conflict, that means either you're disinterested or you don't care. Only when you are thinking of a bigger, broader cause is when you will have conflict, right? I will say, "Aise karo, nahi, this is better." That's why we all fight. But that is a positive conflict. That doesn't make the two of you devils, or you know, you can't be grateful about it, because that person contradicting you is getting out a better quality in you. So please learn to appreciate your people, especially colleagues, everybody else on the road. It is just so much more difficult because I don't think we appreciate. We only say mummy, papa, my best friend, my husband, my son. Everybody else, you will become a happier person if you start appreciating people in your life. So when you wake up in the morning, and this was a TED talk that I picked up from and I started practicing and I love it, is that when you wake up in the morning, think of 5 people. Like not at a time, think of one person, say who's the first person. When did I meet that person? And send that person a virtual hug. And you will be amazed to see how you feel for the rest of the day. Because it is very important, like, you know, we call it the strategic joy. If you wake up in the morning and you do something nice and positive, listen to your favorite music, then your day is nice. On the other hand, if you wake up feeling like, अरे मेड नहीं आई है यार, फिर यही मीटिंग है, किसने बोला 10 बजे, अरे कौन है यार आगे 10:30 बजे बकवास कर रही है मंडे को, क्यों जाना है? It will ripple into everything you do, you know, from mind to body to even physical aspect of it. There's a lot of science that says that what you think is what you feel, and that's how your body behaves. So if you read this book called I Can Heal My Life, it only relates to saying how body pain and body discomforts and diseases are related to what you think and how you feel, and then changing that affirmation. But don't forget to appreciate your people. Maybe the person sitting next to you. Yes? And the gratitude lists. Okay, next slide please. Okay, very important. I'm not going to go through all of this, but two important things I think which we all look at is excuses. बहुत सारे, हमेशा, like, oh, you know, I'm not feeling very happy today, let me eat that pastry. Like I also did. I had a Sunday run, I was so tired and hungry, I went and had ice cream. Saying, too much ho gaya. This is, I just need to unwind, you know, I'm also human. It's so easy to excuse yourself. And there is always a reason why you cannot do it. Always. So stop your excuses. They will still come. And that goes back to the previous slide when I showed that if you're conscious of what you're thinking, how you're behaving, if you're tracking, the best thing is don't let it to your mind, because the mind is the beast. It is not the body, the mind is the beast. It is making you do the good and the bad. So the only way you can stick to doing the good is by being very, very analytical and critical about it. Have it in a paper and a pen. Have it saying, okay, these 5 things I need to do every day. Tick, 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 done, not done, that's it, period. Don't let it saying, I am doing it, not doing it. It is as simple. It's completely black and white and not grey at all. Why we don't succeed is because we leave it saying, I'm thinking about it. You know, I'm thinking for years together, but I've never done it. So get analytical. Stop your bad habits. And you know your bad habits. I'm not going to deep dive into it. You know your bad habits. If you want to get to it, you got to stop them. There is no other way. There is no shortcut. And the other thing I really, really focus in today's world is language. The language that we use should hurt your own ear, because nobody else is listening to it, only you are listening to it first. We don't realize it. We think it's very fashionable to use abusive, filthy language. You know, I'm sure all of you come from schoolings when in our school, if we were like remotely heard even using words like stupid and idiot, they will send you to the principal and say, stand here, who taught you that language, call the teacher, call the mother, father. School में तो पढ़ी मम्मी पापा से भी पढ़ी, कहाँ से सीखा तुमने? But today they are used like I'm speaking English language. That bad vibe goes back to the same thought that what you think, what you say, is how your body is going to react. So it is a really, really strong recommendation. An earnest request is that watch your language. You can say the crudest, nastiest of the things in the nicest way. You don't have to use F language and the rest of the language, just so uncalled for, because it's not doing any good to you first. सामने वाले को क्या पड़ेगा? The सामने वाला thrives in doing it. You don't wait to that level and do it. Na? It's like, you know, जाके बाहर टैक्सी वाले से झगड़ा करोगे तो you don't stoop to their level to do it, right? So just watch yourself. Self-corrective, your choice whether you want to do it or not. But if you don't do it, you will realize what good it is coming to you, because then you don't have to listen to that language. Na? It is simple. We don't realize. We are telling you कि सामने वाला सुन रहा है. अरे सामने वाला नहीं सुन रहा. First you are listening, and then the सामने वाला is listening. Why do you want to abuse yourself? I mean, you must be really silly to do that, right? Cool. And then, of course, as I said, look at yourself, be analytical, have your own scorecard, score yourself in whatever parameters you think you should be scoring yourself. I'm committed, I'm disciplined, I'm focused, I'm a fool, whatever you want to decide. But have it all on paper and pen. Tangibility makes it real. Have it on your desk, have it on your bathroom wall, wherever you want to do it, but have it on the wall. Because as I said, otherwise it's all lost in all the noise that we hear all the time. Next slide, please. Okay. Of all this gyan that I gave you for almost an hour, one thing I assure you is that all of you will fail in doing this. I also fail every day. But what will change is that if you can get up again and do it all over again, go back and evaluate why you failed. Can you address that? Take help if you need to, and do it again. Resilience is the only way to success. Nobody does it in one shot. You will not be able to do it. I will give it to you in written. But the only way I can also tell you is you'll be successful if you do it over and over and over again. It is simple, right? None of you cracked your clients the first time. You are at it. Perseverance, as you say. You are at it, only then you will get it. So go back and do it again and again and again, and that's the only way you will do it. Find the lesson, connect with others. The most important thing, we also think that asking for help means you are weak. I say that asking for help is your strong, because it takes a lot to let go of your ego, of your self-impression that you want to build, and go and tell someone कि यार नहीं हो रहा, I am feeling really weak, vulnerable, yeah, whatever. If you stop having this image saying यार मैं तो ऐसे नहीं हो सकती, yeah, this is not the way I function. Who said that? Who said you can't be weak? Who said you can't cry in office? Who said men can't cry? Who can't say men can't be vulnerable? Who said women can already cry? Who made all of this? Like, these are just conclusions of people who thought that that is how it is. Like today they said in China, women can't do ad for lingerie. I'm like, are you serious? Who told you can't? I mean, they can't. Like, I'm sorry, I can't do about China's decisions, but then it is astonishing and it's stupid. That why would you do anything like that? And my language, sorry. So just ensure that you get out and seek help. You can get professional help, and if it gives you any solace, I have professional guidance who takes care of me. She's a psychoanalyst. I go back every year to her and do course correction, because you need to. It's like medical. When you do your health checkup, everybody is very happy to say, "Arey, health checkup karao, sab kuch theek hai, liver function fine hai, I can go drink, I can do party, whatever." Why not your mind? Why is mind treated like, part of my same body, but why is mind treated stepsister? I remember I once told my father to go to one, and he said, "Tumhe lagta hai main pagal hu?" He's a lawyer. Now I can't debate that. I said, "Dad, heart problem hota hai to doctor ke paas le jati hu. You're feeling like this, let's go." But if you go to a psychiatrist, you're considered saying, "Arey pagal hai." But I'm only saying that if you need help, get help. Professional, personal, whoever, however. It is the best way to succeed, is to just acknowledge. And it starts from saying that you will have to start. Everything is about you. Nobody is going to come and give it to you. Right? With me?
Yes.
Next time anybody has a meltdown, please reach out to whoever you feel comfortable with, and reach out. And everybody should have it. And also, if you're not having a meltdown, then there's something wrong with you. It is natural to feel low, sad, unhappy, or whatever. I mean, nobody is James Bond here. उसको भी मेल्टडाउन हो जाता है आजकल मूवीज में. Alright, go to the last slide. I already spoke about the positive calendar and being positive. You got to just go on and on and on and on and on. I always say this to everybody, especially in my fitness space, is that fitness is not a project. You yourself is not a project. It is your lifestyle, and it is you got to change to make everything else change. I refuse to accept as a person, and I come from a very small town. When I got my 10th score result, my dadi said, "Ab tu padhai kar li, shaadi karo." So I come from a background like that. Why I'm sharing that with you is because I have immense respect for my family, who still took that bet on me. But that's not important. I grabbed my opportunity and made my life big. So it is you and only you who can change or do what you want to do, because it starts with you. So there is no other way. You got to be at it. It's going to be very hard in the beginning, then become easy. Keep hard. It's a way of life. Like every day is not Sunday. You got to come back to office on Monday. This is also exactly like that. Okay, I'm going to close my big long talk with a quick video, and then it's done for the day. This video is called Grit. This lady, Angela, she has written a book called Grit. If you would like to read it, do read it. She talks about her research on grit and how she believes that grit is the key to success. The reason why I'm showing this is because all that I spoke to you about, that is the means. But that one characteristic that we all will need to make this happen for us is grit. If you do not have the grit, you will not be able to execute this, because it need a lot of it, because you will find challenge in personal, professional, physical, mental, every state of being, to be doing what this optimistic guide is all about. So listen to grit and see what you think about it.
When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting for a job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teach 7th graders math in the New York City public schools. And like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests, I gave out homework assignments. When the work came back, I calculated grades. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have stratospheric IQ scores. Some of my smartest kids weren't doing so well. And that got me thinking. The kinds of things you need to learn in 7th grade math, sure, they're hard. Ratios, decimals, the area of a parallelogram. But these concepts are not impossible. And I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn the material if they worked hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective, from a psychological perspective. In education, the one thing we know how to measure best is IQ. But what if doing well in school and in life depends on much more than your ability to learn quickly and easily? So I left the classroom and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings. And in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadets would stay in military training and which would drop out. We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to predict which children would advance farthest in competition. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhoods, asking which teachers are still going to be here in teaching by the end of the school year. And of those, who will be the most effective at improving learning outcomes for their students? We partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs and who's going to earn the most money. In all those very different contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it wasn't social intelligence, it wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future, day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years, and working really hard to make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint. A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago public schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires, and then waited around more than a year to see who would graduate. Turns out that grittier kids were significantly more likely to graduate, even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure, things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grit matters, it's also in school, especially for kids at risk for dropping out. To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little we know, how little science knows about building it. Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? What do I do to teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for the long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent doesn't make you gritty. Our data show very clearly that there are many talented individuals who simply do not follow through on their commitments. In fact, in our data, grit is usually unrelated or even inversely related to measures of talent. So far, the best idea I've heard about building grit in kids is something called growth mindset. This is an idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain and how it changes and grows in response to challenge, they're much more likely to persevere when they fail because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit, but we need more. And that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas, our strongest intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids grittier. Thank you.
All right. So you agree that it's no talent. You can all get there, be there. I hope that I've given you enough tools today to make a small step towards it. I hope I will come back sometime or meet some of you in somewhere to find out what you did. But I think I just want you to take that one thing, grit, to do it. That's all. Every single day of your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shweta, for coming out, taking out time, and gracing your valuable knowledge which you have gained over the time. So thank you very much again.
Oh my God. Thank you.
So okay, I'll be honest. There was a debate on the book,
Okay.
but I said you would have read all of them. So I'll check with her and we'll come back on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I hope you will. I don't need you to remember me. I just want you to remember at least one thing from what you spent, because it's not me. You spend an hour and a little more of your working hour in being here. So just make it work for yourself. Forget, I don't want you to remember me. But remember something from here, because that's going to change your life. Thank you.